episode that I am going to be debuting a whole new segment that I would like to take a trip back in time when times were a lot easier and things were not as convoluted. A movie was simply a movie to awaken something within that person, whether it was an action film, whether if it was a kids movie, whether it was a comedy, whether it was a drama. These things were what they used to make their movies and base their movies on, and they stuck with that one simple premise, and they made a great movie from the out. This segment that I'm going to be taking you down is going to be called Childhood Reviews, where I touch base on all of the wholesome childhood films that, if you're anything like me and you were born in the 80s, these movies should have been a big part of your life too. It's a childhood movie that is still going on today. These movies paved the roads for all of the great movies after it. And the movies that I am talking about are going to be focused on one director, Don Bluth. And you may not recognize that name, but you, I'm sure, have seen some of the things that he's worked on in his career. He did The Secret of Nim, which is very popular. The American Tail movies, the first one, which was just The American Tail, and the second one, which is called 50 Goes West, All Dogs Go to Heaven, Rock-a-Doodle, The Pebble and the Penguin, and many, many more. But the one that I'm going to be touching base on in this first episode of Childhood Reviews is going to be one that is near and very dear to my heart, and that is The Land Before Time. Man, oh man, this movie just tugs at the heartstrings and just punches you right in the feels, man. I cannot, till this day, watch this movie without either all-out crying or getting misty-eyed. Even while doing preparation for this review, to rewatch the film, it happened all over again. It is just an amazing story with such a simple message and a simple plot. You have your established characters. You have them going on a particular journey, and they have to face pitfalls and dangerous perils throughout, while building a bond with the people that they meet along the way, and establishing heartfelt relationships with each other. And it really shows the symbolism of how, if you have the right people in your life, that you can accomplish anything. This is such a great, wholesome message that I just don't see in movies these days. There aren't any lighthearted moments. Everything has to be politically correct, and that definitely gets in the way with just being able to let the emotions of the film fully consume you and just overtake you, and for you just to be able to enjoy a good, wholesome. The film starts like any other film, at least childhood film in that time, establishing our main character, Littlefoot. This debut, or this introduction to this character, already just hits you with so much emotion, and you see the relationship between him and his mother, which is a strong element that we will see throughout the whole movie, and is what is used to take our main character and push him through all the obstacles that he ends up going through throughout the movie until the setting is, they are obviously, I'm going to use the names of the way that the film describes them, because obviously this is a kid's film, so they couldn't actually use like Brontosaurus or Stegosaurus or Tyrannosaurus or anything like that for kids of that age, because it would just go over their heads, and they want them to enjoy and remember the characters too. So they are long necks, and they are having to move from one area of the land to another, which they call the Great Valley. And they need to get there because their food supply is running short, and they obviously need to migrate in order to survive. Along the way, trouble strikes, and just like any hero or any hero story arc or origin story, Littlefoot suffers a loss. His mother is attacked by the Tyrannosaurus Rex, or the T-Rex, which does play the antagonist role of the villain in this film, and Littlefoot is left devastated and hurt. He needs to find his way on his own after being separated from the rest of his family, his other family members who were his grandmother and grandfather, and has to make it to the Great Valley so that he can reunite with his grandparents. But now he has the weight on his shoulders, and the one person he loved the most, and that was his mother. So along the way, we get introductions to other characters that are going to be the support system for Littlefoot and eventually help him grow out of his depressed state of mind and be able to make the journey that he has to get through that awaits him ahead. First up, we are introduced to Ducky. He is classified as a big mouth, which is appropriate because she has some of the best lines in the movie. She has a lot of quips, a lot of funny moments, a lot of kind-hearted, that like inner voice, Jiminy Cricket style relationship with Littlefoot that just always ends up putting him in a better mood and higher spirits to get him through each moment that he is coming across. Then we are introduced to Sarah, who is a three-horn, and she is definitely the strong-willed character of this film. She's very prideful, she's very headstrong, she's very aggressive in how she thinks, and most of the time these traits often get her in trouble. Then we're introduced to Petrie, who is a flyer, or pterodactyl. I'll just use that because flyer is kind of vague, but he is a flyer who ironically can't fly. And throughout the film, we see his growth as a character in himself, as he once, just like every other character, they grow closer together, build each other up, and he's able to overcome his limitations in the end as well. Finally, the last member of our group is Spike. Is, of course, they call a spike tail, or I guess her technical term would be a stegosaurus. So together, the group has to continue finding the way to the Great Valley to find their loved ones and their family members so that they can reunite and have their happily ever after ending. There are pitfalls and dangerous trials along the way that they run into, but in the end, they are able to overcome the obstacles and have a good conclusion. I won't give away too much, because I definitely want you, who hasn't seen these, anybody who hasn't seen these films, to definitely check it out for themselves, so that you can have that same great impact that I had as a child and that I still have as a grown adult. There is a lot of elements of one particular Disney film, and no, just in case I didn't mention it before, this is not a Disney film. But the other film that it is pretty closely compared to, I would say, is definitely The Lion King. And there are a few shared elements. We do see a character who is taken out of his comfort zone, having to put himself in other kind of situations that he's not used to, that push him through to become the person that he needs to become in the end to reach a common goal. There is, each film has a circle of life reference where the first one is between a older dinosaur and Littlefoot.
It is nobody's fault. The great circle of life has begun. But you see, not all of us arrive together at the end.
What'll I do? I miss her so much.
And you'll always miss her. But she'll always be with you, as long as you remember the things she taught you.
And obviously Mufasa and Simba.
Everything the light touches is our kingdom.
Wow.
A king's time as ruler rises and falls like the sun. One day, Simba, the sun will set on my time here and will rise with you as the new king. Everything you see exists together in a delicate balance. As king, you need to understand that balance and respect all the creatures, from the crawling ant to the leaping antelope. When we die, our bodies become the grass, and the antelope eat the grass. And so, we are all connected in the great circle of life.
There is a loss in the family that both main characters suffer.
Mother? Oh. Please get up.
I'm not sure I can, Littlefoot.
Yes, you can. Get up.
Dear sweet Littlefoot, do you remember the way to the Great Valley?
I guess so. But why do I have to know? You're gonna be with me.
I'll be with you, even if you can't see me.
What do you mean if I can't see you? I can always see you.
Littlefoot, let your heart guide you. It whispers, so listen closely.
Mother? Mother? Dad? Dad, come on. You gotta get up. Dad. We gotta go home. Help! Somebody! Anybody! We're pals, right?
Right.
And we'll always be together, right?
Simba, let me tell you something that my father told me. Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars.
Really?
Yes. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you. And so will I.
And there is a cloud sequence where the main character has to look for advice through desperation, and through this guidance from the loved one who has passed on, is able to push through and make it to the next portion that he is trying to get to.
Littlefoot.
Mother? I tried to do what you told me, but it's just too hard. I'll never find the Great Valley. Mother! Mother! Don't go, Mother! Don't go!
Simba. Father?
Simba, you have forgotten me.
No. How could I?
You have forgotten who you are, and so forgotten me. Look inside yourself, Simba. You are more than what you have become. You must take your place in the circle of life.
How can I go back? I'm not who I used to be.
Remember who you are. You are my son, and the one true king. Remember who you are.
No! Please! Don't leave me!
Remember.
Father!
Remember.
Don't leave me.
Remember.
Then it comes down to the age-old part where I often find myself talking about this difference in who out of the two characters in the two movies suffered more. And I think that Littlefoot went through way more of an ordeal than Simba ever did. Granted, what The Land Before Time does that Lion King doesn't do in reference to Simba is that Land Before Time is taking place all in one shot, where they are the same age. There's no cutscenes, there's no time lapses or anything like that, whereas The Lion King does do that, and they take what seems Simba's grieving and overcoming period of his situation into like years, for him to fully forget about what he went through while he's over there singing Hakuna Matata. Littlefoot has been suffering throughout all of it. He had to deal with depression, he had to deal with loneliness, he had to deal with the loss of his mother right in front of his eyes. Just like Simba, but still, it's so much more impactful and so much more devastating, I think, what Littlefoot went through. And because of that reason, I definitely think that Littlefoot suffered more than Simba ever did. All in all, The Land Before Time is an amazing film that is just filled with heartwarming moments, strong characters that develop bonds over time, life lessons, and all-around fun for everybody. I definitely recommend, if you have never seen this movie before, to check it out. I don't think it is available on any streaming apps. You might have to go old school with it, or maybe even Voodoo might have it available to rent. They've had it at the movie theaters. It's just so popular of a beloved child's movie that they brought it back to the big screen so that more people could enjoy it because it's just so popular. So I definitely recommend, if you've never seen this film, check it out and maybe even get some tissues ready, because this is one definitely impactful film. I'm going to try to include some clips of music. Don't be surprised if eventually at one point during time that the video might have it and then all of a sudden doesn't have it, because copyright claims through YouTube definitely have been a problem for me with some of my previous videos, and I've had to alter certain things. But the music is just amazing. It is just so heartwarming, and the ending song that is at the beginning of the credits is just so impactful that if you haven't cried yet, you're gonna cry once you hear this, in light of everything that the characters have gone through. This song is If We Hold On Together, and it was performed by Diana Ross. So it is just amazingly done. They chose a really good artist to sing for the song. It's just all around amazing, and I just can't find any faults with this movie. I can't find anything else other than good things to say about it. And since that is going to be everything that I can say about it, it is going to unfortunately take us out of this time loop and bring us back into the present, where things are difficult again. And I am sorry, but if you like this segment, return back in time with me for the next Childhood Memories review. And that film will be Five O Goes West, An American Tale. If you liked what you saw, as always, as I always ask, please subscribe. It helps me out very, very much. Send over a like for the video to let me and also YouTube know that the video is very popular, so it gets more attention. And click the notification bell just so that you're able to know whenever I upload a new video. And with that, everybody, I will conclude this episode and this episode of Childhood Reviews, and I will see you in the next one. You guys have a great